Brad, it's been a wonderful day of racing here at Ascot for what was a fantastic AJ Scahill Stakes Day. I'm here with Chief Steward Brad Lewis. Brad, a very good day of racing, but before we get into the day of racing, obviously a very large talking point throughout the week since last week after Kingston Town Classic Day was the Douglas White situation. He was charged with not riding his horse out to the line. Can you just give us an update on what's going on there? Obviously a decision's been made, but just a little bit of more in-depth knowledge on what's going on yesterday.
That's right, Mark. So that inquiry was concluded. We did take further statements from trainer Lindsay Smith, who appeared in person, and also managing part owner Mr Chris Wells, and Douglas White wished to also ask Damien Lane some questions. So all of that evidence was brought forward to the inquiry yesterday, and the matter was concluded, and Douglas White was found guilty to the charge of not riding his mount out scales of justice over the final two strides. The stewards did allege, Mark, and we made that finding again reviewing the vision and hearing all the evidence. So concluded it was a 1 month suspension for Douglas White. That would effectively take place from midnight next Saturday night, the 17th, and 1 month from there. So to Mr White, that meant 7 Hong Kong race meetings, which is obviously a significant penalty.
Well, great to have that issue out of the way now, and we'll move on to today's meeting. We started things off with the 2-year-old race, the young membership plate over 1,100 metres. And tell us, there was a little bit going on behind the barriers there, Brad?
Well, we had Can't Disguise there. Mark obviously didn't get to the barriers, so that caused the late withdrawal. 5 Degrees had to be resaddled. Very disappointing. Wanted to lay him, was in the straight, was vetted after the run, but no abnormalities. So we'll just see how 5 Degrees has pulled up. Lady Hattress wasn't on its best manners today. Lay Outwards also raced keenly, so back to trials and its senior rider, and Spangled Image held up in the straight until about the 200 metre mark.
Brad, moving on to race number 2, it was the Christmas $300 membership plate over 1,600 metres. Ragazza Diora was forced to make a wide run at the 700 metre mark.
It was, and at the ready got its head in the air at the start, lost a couple of links, also held up at the 250. Reef Keeper improved up onto the heels, got a steady at the 1,200, also Lay Outwards, and Quest of Venus never settled keenly through the early part.
Race number 3, Brad, was the Tab Touch Perth Cup Day, December 31 handicap over 1,600 metres, and special delivery was a late withdrawal at 1:05 p.m.
That's right, it suffered a head trauma that caused some bleeding to the near nostril, so as a result of that taken out on veterinary advice. Outlaw Pete dwelled at the start, lost 2 links. Gloryland pulled very hard as we saw, Mark never settled. That had a impact on its finishing efforts, so tied in the straight. And we looked closely at an incident in the final stages where we saw William Pike's whip just become extended out towards Django. May have even been some slight contact to Django's near shoulder, but as we saw from Jockey Pike's action, he was pushing his horse vigorously with his left arm, and in an attempt to balance himself, his right arm became extended. He wasn't aware of that. There was nothing intent or improper about that, and we did tell jockey William Pike that he must moderate his action, particularly when racing in close proximity to other runners.
Race number 4 was the Group 3 AJ Scahill Stakes over 1,400 metres, and Lusaha took off mid-race after being a bit keen and getting inside of runners.
That's right, got up onto heels there in the early part and had no option other than to shift outwards, and that caused bumping to Chocolate Holic and carried it outwards at about the 800 metre mark. But Lusaha was the master of its own destiny there in not settling at all and being very fierce and having to come out from behind heels.
Race number 5 was the Budget Car and Truck Rental RS Crawford Stakes over 1,000 metres, and another late withdrawal there, Fury Stone. Brad, was this because of the heat?
Look, I think it's just a number of incidents all happening on the one day, Mark. Unfortunately, the fields were probably not the strongest anyway, and these late scratchings didn't help, but no, just a series of isolated events that have occurred there. So Furious Dame found to be lame in the off hind leg. It will need a clearance. Rebel King impeded for a short distance on straightening.
Race number 6, the Kieran Magumi handicap over 1,800 metres, and they took their time there behind the barriers with Karalabek, but he eventually got in and raced in a pretty flat manner.
That's right, and this horse will go back to trials now. May see a blindfold coming forward on Karalabek to try and help its loading manner. First Affair we saw led the race. No one expected First Affair to lead. Pulled extremely hard soon after starting, and there was no option other than to stride forward. Rider was in a lot of trouble trying to settle it. Born Blue, somewhat disappointing, vetted out okay, now step up in distance at its next run.
Race number 7 was the JRA Trophy over 2,200 metres, and a lightning move mid-race from Kirov Boy, and he was followed in turn by Kurikutu, who ended up winning the race.
That's right, appeared to be the winning decisive move there early. Proper Andy's disappointing race keen in the early stages, and was allowed to stride up to take a forward position. The race was quite good there, Mark.
As we can see, Kurikutu, a very nice staying win there. Brad, race number 8, which was the budget.com.au handicap over 1,200 metres. Did anything come out of that? Of course, Lenience, as one of the favourites, was quite disappointing. Barracky Beats finished off nicely, and Chinetti went mad out in front, but Candlelight Star was a mighty, mighty win.
That's right. I just spoke to trainer Roy Rogers following the race, and this gelding just has a tendency to lame with Mark, so we've asked Mr. Rogers to correct that manner, and we'll have a look at a couple of incidents in the straight. It appeared she rules L shifted outwards and may have made contact to runners to its outside.
Any other fines or inquiries going on, Brad, from today?
Obviously, we had to delay race 7 due to the wrong saddles being put on Star Exhibit and Kurikutu, Mark, so there'll be in all likelihood a fine there for training partnership Jeff Duran and Jason Miller for doing that. It caused us to be late in the last race also.
How much, Brad?
The panel's going to decide that now, Mark, looking at precedent.
They got the Quinella there, so I'm sure they won't be too disappointed in paying that fine.
That's right. I think they'll find the funds.
Brad, thank you very much for joining me. It was a wonderful day here at Ascot Racecourse for AJ Scale Stakes Day. We look forward to seeing you next week. Get on to perthracing.com.au for all your event details and ticketing information. We will see you then.
Thank you, Mark.